Hey guys, Hippopotamus here again with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you my PFE PvE healer build. This was taken from inspiration from another player that I saw using this build in the Dark Zone, and their name was Heal Line, so a shout out to them for giving me some of the inspiration, although some of the pieces I have changed around to fit my sort of purpose. The build idea was somebody else's, so I want to give them credit first before we start. So, let's go and have a look at the specialization and get started. So, to start with, we are using the Survivalist. There is a few reasons for this. One of which is the sharing medkits. That's very, very useful. The outgoing healing is something that we're interested in. Extra outgoing healing is very, very good. We also have the incendiary grenades, which is great. That's good for blocking paths and sort of slowing people down, setting them on fire. Really good. We also have the while in cover, gain 10% skill haste. That's quite useful. We can use scraping by if we run out of ammo with a shotgun that we use, just get some extra bullets. We also have synergizing weapons. Again, that's quite important because we are using a shotgun and an assault rifle in this case. Everything else is just an extra, nice little extra. We can use the Mender Seeker Mind if we so wish, but I tend to use the Chem Shot because it's just a little bit stronger in this case. So let's go down to the range and have a look at the build, go through the build, and then we'll go through the stat sheet and talk about the build in the range. So, having a look at the build, let's have a look at this now. So, going through the weapons at first, I'm using a Police M4. Main reason is its high fire rate, good burst damage, and decent accuracy, quite controllable compared to some of the others like the FAMAS and what have you. So, this really does help you get your shots on target. It comes with assault rifle damage, health damage, and damage to targets out of cover. All lovely stuff. And we have the talent Reformation. Now, hitting a headshot, this doesn't have to be a kill, just a headshot gives us 60% extra skill repair for 15 seconds. That's quite a lot when you actually look at it, especially when you look for the skill tiers. 60% extra repair is a lot just for hitting a headshot. Okay? So, for the second weapon, people might say, ugh, what is that? The Overlord. Yes, the Overlord. There is a reason for this, because in certain types of content it does help, and in PvP, I have actually had this used on me, and it was probably the worst 30 seconds of my life. Not being able to run away or get away from enemies that are shooting you, especially with me not being able to do much damage. If I can slow a target down for the rest of my team to shoot at them, it's quite a bad place to be at to have your movement speed debuffed, especially in PvP. So let's have a look at the shotgun and what it has. I had to do some work to this one, but it has shotgun damage, damage to targets out of cover, and damage to armor, all good stuff, things that we want. And then the talent is capitulate. I think I've said that right. Hopefully I have. So hitting an enemy applies a minus 4% movement speed for each pellet for 5 seconds. Shooting the enemy will reapply the stacks. So yeah, this is nasty. When you hit a target, it's going to slow them down. So I'll go through the uses while we're here now. Okay, so the main uses are predominantly for right when you're fighting on the incursion, slowing right down, especially when you're kiting as the healer, is really, really useful. It'll slow him down and allow you to put a bigger damage phase on him. He's not going to be running around like a lunatic. And more so, any enemy now that moves quickly, because with the new Brooklyn DLC, there is a boss. I'm not going to spoil anything for the people that haven't been through it, but there is a boss in there that moves particularly quickly and has a large pool of health. So the ability to slow him down might give you enough of a window to get away and go and heal yourself up, apply a med kit, whatever you've got to do. So, in PvP, this is nasty. I've had this used on me, and like I say, it was absolutely awful. I couldn't strafe, I couldn't move, I was just getting shot. So, being able to do something like this as a healer when you don't do a lot of damage yourself is extremely useful for your teammates should you have those teammates around. It's great. Okay, so let's get onto the build. I'll start off with the exotic first, and we are using the Birdies Quick Fix pack. So, the main reason for this is just because of what it does. I'll go through what it has. It has a skill tier, skill haste, repair skill, and we have a 19.9 repair skill mod in it. So basically, they've cleaned this up. It's recently been changed by the looks of it. So it's 80% revive speed, 50% weaken debuff timer, 45% hive efficiency, provides 50% damage resistance to both agents while reviving them. So this is great. And if you revive an agent, basically what it's going to do is give you 1 extra skill tier for 5 seconds. And if you're already at 6, which we are, it's going to grant overcharge. Very nice. It's going to help our skills a lot. This has been fixed, I believe, recently, where you were only getting certain bonuses, which was a real shame with it. Now, I believe it's working more as intended, so this is more viable than it used to be. Okay, so let's have a look at our chest piece, and this is the piece that differs from Heal Line's. Heal Line uses a Alp Summit mask and the chest from the gear set, brand set, but I've changed this around. There is a reason for this, and I'll go through that now. So I'm using a piece of Alp Summit for the one piece. This gives us repair skill, what we need, and this has a skill tier, skill haste, repair skill, and repair skill mods. I'm using the talent Empathic Resolve, so this is going to give me anywhere from 1 to 7%. This will be closer to 7 though, as I have all skill tiers, and my teammates 15% because I have all skill tiers for 20 seconds when I heal them. So when I heal an ally, I'm going to give them 15% weapon damage. That's the most important part. 15% extra is very, very nice. Okay, so if we quickly move on to the other pieces, the gear set, I will show you why this ties in with the chest. So let's just go through what the gear set does first. Future Initiative. 2 pieces give you 30% repair skill. 3 pieces give you skill haste, skill duration. 4 pieces give you ground control, so increases your allies' total weapon damage and skill damage by 15% when at full armor. Okay, so unlike Empathic Resolve, where you just heal them and give them 15, you have to be at full armor. So when you repair an ally, and all allies within 5 meters of you are also repaired by 60% of that amount, which is very nice. If they're just outside the healing range by 5 meters, they're going to get some benefit from the healing that you receive and others receive. So it's quite useful. The reason why I have chosen the chest piece as a brand set rather than the gear set is because the gear set gives you 25% damage. It increases the ground control to 25. Now, 1, you have to be at full armor, and 2, if you add 15 and 15, we're actually getting 30. So using Empathic Resolve plus the brand set, the gear set, is going to give us 30 in total, which is 5 more. So it's giving 5 more extra damage to your teammates, which is really quite nice. It's useful. So, okay, so let's just go through the pieces. These are all quite unsurprising, really. They all have a skill tier and repair skills mods. I would probably suggest that would be quite unsurprising, but yeah, we are foregoing any skill haste here because we just don't really need it at this point. We are totally relying on going into overcharge to get our skills back quicker, and then if we run out, we run out. That's the end of it. So that's the main thing. The other thing that I didn't mention here is probably that I should mention, a bit messy in these videos, I'm sorry. I'm using a pistol. It's a 5.86 Magnum. It comes with pistol damage and yes, 9.5% health damage. I couldn't get damage to targets out of cover, but just as good because I'm going to be using this when an enemy's weak, i.e. in the health pool. So 9.5 into health isn't the end of the world. I have Future Perfect. So if I kill an enemy, this is going to allow me to get into overcharge. This is just one of 2 ways that I can do that. I can either pick an ally up, and that's going to give me the overcharge that I want, or if I get a finishing blow on an enemy, just pull out the pistol, shoot them with this, that's going to give me that. So quite useful. Again, we can just use this on weak enemies with the reds. I'll go through that in the range with you. Okay, so our skills. The stars of the show. We have a Restorer Hive, quite unsurprisingly. That's going to be benefiting from the extra skill efficiency for the hive as well, giving us a little bit of extra range, etc, etc. 4.5 healing mod, best I could do here. I have health, because enemies are going to probably try and shoot at my hive rather than the duration. And I also have 4 extra charges, which is quite nice. Okay, so I also have the Chem Shot, the Reinforcer Chem Launcher. Again, it's just the amount that it heals. So I can double tap when I'm running around, chicken dancing or whatever you want to call it, and just drop a heal anywhere. So as I'm running around, just drop a heal, and that's going to help teammates. It's got 9 shots, and again, it's quite strong, so useful, something that we can take use of, especially between the hive being down. The chem shots should tie us over till we get a few reviver shots back, shots from the hive back, sorry. We also have the incendiary grenades. Now in PvP, quite useful because it's going to stop enemies ADSing us, and in PvE, again, can be quite useful because it can just sort of block off a doorway or a path that just stops them from getting through. Okay, so we'll go through the build, go through the stat sheet. So let's have a look at the stats, make sure that skill haste is turned off. And what we'll do is we'll just go in and out just to make sure that's affected our skills. And we'll also just check the ranges on heroic. Okay, ranges on heroic, skill haste is off. Okay, that's going to give us a more accurate reflection of our stat sheet. Okay, so we have the main talents, which is Reformation, Capulative, I think that is. I hope I'm saying that right. And then Future Perfect. Okay, so those are our main weapon talents. We can see the weapon damage numbers are quite low across the board. We have low crit chance, low crit damage. Not really something that we're interested in. We're only really using the weapons to gain more healing or to slow targets down. Not really for damage so much. Again, this is reflected in our damage numbers. In offense, we do have a low amount of damage. We're using the gear talents Combat Medic and Empathic Resolve. We're also using the brand set of Future Initiative gear set and the brand of Alp Summit. We have 726,000 armor. Again, you could put ranks of expertise into this to give yourself a little bit more. That would be absolutely fine. But at this point, I'm just using it as its base, just giving it to you as it comes. And again, some of these numbers you're not going to see unless you've got wristwatch 1000, which is, you know, important to get if you do want these extra stats, and then your build will look the same. We have the Restorer Hive. Again, we don't have a lot of skill haste. Hopefully we can manage to get into overcharge in the time that we start getting low, and that should help us refill everything quite up quickly. And we are using the Chem Shot as well because of the larger numbers. So the main ways really that we're going to be using this build is obviously the assault rifle is going to be good for it. If you hit them in the head, it's going to give you Reformation. This doesn't proc in the range, unfortunately, something that's quite annoying. And again, what we can do is when we heal people, we get that Empathic Resolve, and then our damage numbers go up. So we can see that we can get some damage from there. What we can also do is we can use our pistol. If an enemy is low, we can use the health damage, and that's going to put us into our overcharge, which is going to give us a large radius, and it's also going to give us quite a large Chem Shot area to stand in. So that's quite useful and helpful. The other thing we can do is, I think we have a moving target here, so what we'll do is we will just up the level of it, and then we'll just bring it a little bit closer, just to demonstrate the point that we're trying to make. So, we can see the target moving at this speed, slows it right down. Again, great for right, and in PvP, if you manage to get one of those shots off, a slower moving target is going to take a lot more damage from teammates. We also have the fire grenade, which is useful because we can just chuck that down. Again, if we shoot enemies with that, they're not going to be able to run out of the fire as quickly, and again allow you to get them on fire so they can't ADS, and also move in much more slowly, which is going to be really annoying in PvP. And other than that, that's the main real parts of the build to show off. There's nothing else really there to show. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I've got a couple more builds coming up. I will be posting another one today and then a few more over the coming weeks. So I'm quite excited to show you the new stuff that I've been playing with, and I will see you in the next one.